Hey, welcome to my channel and to another weigh-in video. Was not what I expected. I think, well, I just looked and it seemed like it was close to 4 pounds last week that I lost, and that made up for the gain of the previous week when I got those new scales. And I attributed that gain to the new scales because I had followed the plan just like I had been all along. Been losing weight all along. Well, this morning I get on the scales. I weighed 313.2, which was, drum roll, a gain of 2 pounds. That puts me at 63.9. Now, you tell me why I gained 2 pounds. Other than the fact that weight fluctuates day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute. Here's the thing. Earlier in the week, I usually weigh every day, but I hadn't been. I still weigh several times a week. So I did weigh yesterday, and I was up even more than 2 pounds. And I weighed like a couple days before that, and I was up like 8 pounds. So what's that about? Listen, you gotta laugh to keep from crying. All I can say is it's a number on the scale, which I've told you before. I have to look at that number on the scale because that's what the doctors are looking at. But while I'm in the process, I guess I just have to take these little blips on the radar as just part of the journey, which I've told y'all before. I'll tell you, no matter what program I'm following, how good and hard I'm following it, I always have gains. That's why it has taken me 4 years. Coming up in April will be 4 years since I joined WW. It was Weight Watchers then. 63 pounds in 4 years. And that's part of why I'll always try another program, because it'll work, then it stops working. And I start having those fluctuations. I'm like, well, maybe this ain't the plan for me, so I'll try something else, and then it'll work, and then we'll start having them things. Well, I'm still going to do Nutrisystem because I think it works. It has helped me with my portion control, kept me from eating as much as I used to, and I make better choices than I did before. So I'm not going to quit Nutrisystem because I had a gain this week. But it's aggravating. Y'all know how aggravating it is. You do everything you're supposed to do. Y'all see what I eat because I put you a video up every night. Unless I'm tired. I think one time I was tired because Sebastian, they got here and was here late. And the other time, I lost my footage because I deleted it by mistake. Other than that, since I have started Weight Watchers, since I have started Nutrisystem, I have given y'all a video every night of what I have eaten that day. You can see I'm on plan. Even if it looks like I eat a lot of food, I still hover around 1,500 calories. Now, last week when I lost weight, I lost weight, but they reevaluate you on the app. Is like geared just for you. It calculates just your information. So the app tells you how many calories, how many smart carbs, how many power fuels that it wants you to eat for your individual situation. And so last week it dropped me down 53 points, well, whatever the math is, from 2,040 calories it wanted me to have down to 1987. So I think that's 53. I know I've been told the reasoning behind it, and I understand it, but I still think that's too many calories for me. I don't think that you go into starvation mode, because otherwise people wouldn't starve to death. Your body go into starvation mode as far as, oh, you're starving your body, it's going to hold on to all its fat. Well, if that's the case, people wouldn't starve to death. You couldn't go on a desert island, quit eating, and starve to death if your body was going to hold on to all that fat. So I don't understand I don't understand that. Maybe at a certain point in time, maybe in the beginning, that's possible in my mind. That's possible in the beginning. Your body says, no, don't take my fat away. Don't take none of this away. And then eventually it just stops doing that and it starts releasing the fat and you starve to death. I can go with that. So maybe at first, if you don't eat as much calories, as you're supposed to, but 1,500 calories is in no stretch of the imagination a starvation diet for any size person. You might think you're starving, but you're not. Even on my 600-pound life, I know it's low to absolutely no carbs, really, as low a carb as you can get without having zero carbs. And I think it's 1,200 calories that he puts them on. And these are people that go from eating like 10,000 calories. They've showed how much they eat to 1,200 calories. And they pop off 30, 40, 50 pounds a month. The bigger you are, the more you're supposed to lose when you cut your calories. So I don't think not eating 1,900 calories is hurting me if I'm only eating 1,500. So even when you see my days of food where I have eaten like all day long, I'm still hovering. I'm averaging 1,500. Sometimes I'll go a little above and sometimes I'm a little below. Some days I'm around 1,200. It might not look like it, but I am. So I don't think reducing my amount of calories from what they tell me to eat has made me gain weight. And I don't think it's sodium. I've not eaten anything extra salty. And even though the Nutrisystem meals, the frozen meals, can be higher in sodium, they're not as high as the meals that I got from the store. And I'll tell you this much. Back when I had to see the nephrologist, who is the kidney doctor, because I have stage 3 kidney disease. It has stopped at stage 3. My kidneys fluctuate. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. But he told me, and he's a kidney doctor. He's a kidney specialist. When I was in the worst stages of my kidneys, he said I could have 3,000 milligrams of salt a day. And he told me, what little bit of salt you put on at the table is not going to hurt you. 3,000 milligrams of sodium a day with stage 3 kidney disease. Now, I'm not telling you I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you what you can have. You go by what your doctor tells you. I'm going by what my doctor tells me. I didn't eat 3,000 milligrams of sodium a day. I don't eat 3,000. I don't even come close. Even if one of the Nutrisystem meals has, well, it says it'll give you a percentage, but I don't know what their, right off the bat, I know their percentage of calories is of a 2,000 calorie diet, which, who in the world, anybody of any smaller size, they would gain weight on 2,000 calories. I mean, you just would. But I don't know what their number is for sodium. But even, let's say if it's got 280 grams of sodium, that is a drop in the bucket to 3,000 milligrams. I don't come close. I ain't been out to eat. I didn't eat anything last night. I didn't even eat my supper last night. My heart and my head and my stomach are just eat up with this Ukraine business. And I had it on my mind. And I just couldn't eat. I ate almost all my cauliflower. It was good. I've got a cook with me video up. Because y'all know how I feel about the veggies. Well, this is something I will make again. It actually turned cauliflower into something that we liked and we would eat again. But I just had that on my mind. It was just preying on me so much that I just didn't have an appetite. And I just could not eat my supper. So I went over there and I started watching the TV. And I watched the news. I have watched more news this past 3 weeks than I have watched probably this past 3 months. I just cannot take my eyes off of it. I need to know what is going on, and I am horrified by it. And I don't take that as, because you know I don't talk religion, and I don't talk politics on my channel. But I don't look at this, even though politics is engulfed it. I don't look at it as I'm talking to you. It is a humanitarian situation. So I don't need to go through and tell you what's happening. You watch the news, you see what's happening, and it is horrific. It's horrific. And anyway, so even though I used, my point was trying to get to, is I didn't eat my supper. So even if there was sodium in my sesame broccoli, and I know there was, Nutrisystem meal, and I added a little bit of low sodium soy sauce, which still has sodium. Considering I only took a couple bites of it, I didn't get any sodium. There was hardly any salt in that cauliflower because I had to add more at the table. A few shakes of salt at the table was not 3,000 milligrams of sodium. What I ate during the day, there was hardly no sodium to mention. So I'm not bloated up. I can't say, oh, it's water weight. Well, I don't know. It could be water weight because I retain water, but I don't feel thick. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, my clothes still fit the same. My pants are still loose. I have these little PJ pants. There's little shorts, little knit shorts that before I lost this 15 pounds, well now it's 12, 13 pounds. I think, no, it was 14 pounds. So now it's 12 pounds. Point whatever. They were like snug on the old behind and the legs, and now they're loose. They're just loose, and then they're still loose, as loose this morning as they were yesterday before I stepped on that scale. So I'm still the same body, still feel the same, just have a different number attached to it. Do I like it? No. Is there anything I can do about it? No, because there's nothing I can change on my diet, which is a diet. I mean, it's a diet. It's a Nutrisystem diet. There's nothing I can think that I can change that's going to keep me from gaining that weight if I'm going to gain that weight. Because I did everything right this week. Everything right. I stayed well below my calories. I stayed in a losing calorie range. If you go and look up on the computer, one of those calculators that tells you, okay, this many calories you can lose a half a pound, all the way down to this many calories you can lose 2 pounds. And that's for your body size and height, all that good stuff. So I'm in the good losing range at 1,500 calories for over 300 pounds. I'm in the good losing range. So I don't find that I'm not eating enough, therefore I gained weight. I'm not subscribing to that. So all I can say is it's just a blip. It happened. I might be 2 pounds less tomorrow than I was a week ago. Who knows? So next week is a new day. Next week's, we'll see. Like I said, I'll keep doing Nutrisystem as long as it works. Now, I don't want to blame it on medicine, but David told me, I don't think I told y'all this, when we were discussing starting Nutrisystem, because we discussed it a while, because they had that 50% off there for a while, and we would see it. He says, you think something like that would work for you? Because, I'm up and down, up and down, up and down. I'm like, well, I don't know. You think we could do it? And we talked back and forth, and a few days later, we see the commercial, and he's like, well, you think we could do it? I'm like, I don't know. Do you think it would help you? I don't know. You think we would starve to death? I don't know. So then we decided to go ahead and do it. But this is what he told me before we actually decided to do it. He said, this might be a way to tell you if it's your medicine or not. Because we know I have several medicines that cause weight gain. Weight gain that it's always causing it, so you're always fighting it. You see what I'm saying? Maybe I won the battle this first 5 weeks, and then this week it said, nope, denied. But he said maybe that would be a good way to determine if your medicine is holding you back. So was my medicine holding me back this week? Because it was like, well, I'll let you have a good 5 weeks. Let me put a stop to you at least 1 week, let you know I'm still here. I don't know what caused it. I'm going to quit talking about it. Gained 2 pounds this week. That's what happens. Whether I gained it or the scales are just showing it for whatever reason, I don't know. But anyway, 2 pounds is being documented as this week. So let me tell you what has been happening with Costco. So, Ro tells me you can get $100 gift certificates for Nutrisystem that you pay for your food for $80 at Costco. That's $20 a pop. And we would use several of them. We would use more if we didn't get 50% off, trust me. But we would use several of them for his order and my order. $20 a pop. Well, your initial joining fee for Costco is $60. So the first 3 pays for it. And then after that, $20 a pop. Over time, depending on how long we stay on Nutrisystem, that can add up into the hundreds of, big hundreds, okay? So I told David, I'm like, well, this is the situation. He's like, okay, well, he hands me his card. He goes, here. So I join online. They let you join Costco online. So I go on their thing. I join. I'm like, cool. Now I'm going to order our gift certificates because our ship date is actually today. Whether it ships or not, it's our processing date. The cutoff is 6 o'clock today, which I had it confused. I'll tell you that in a minute. If I can remember all the things that happened. It's been a comedy of errors ever since Monday. So I go online. I make an order for some gift certificates. Gives me an email. Here's your order confirmation. 10 minutes later, canceled. So I did that, I don't know, maybe 3 times. Rose says, well, she said you had to wait. Somebody told her, I think, or she read it, one or the other. You had to wait 24 to 48 hours. I'm like, okay. So I waited. Tried again. Canceled. So, no. Before I waited, I called. That's right. I told you, it's been so much. I'm trying to remember the order it went in. The second time is when I waited. The first time when it kept canceling it like the 3 times, I called. She called her store, and her store gave her a backdoor number where they usually resolve your issues. And so she gave that number to me. Well, I called them. I talked to this little girl, and she goes, let me talk to my resolution team. So she's, talking to her team, and I'm on hold, and she keeps coming back. She goes, I just want to let you know I'm still here. I'm like, okay, I appreciate it. And so finally she comes back, and she goes, they need to verify you. I said, well, I did not want to, I got it online because I didn't want to go to the store, because the chances of us going to the store, it's an hour round trip, we're probably not going to. We might go, once every 6 months, about like we did over to BJ's, because it's just the 2 of us. And on Nutrisystem, there's not a whole lot of stuff we buy in bulk. We go when we need dishwasher tabs or used to be laundry detergent, but we got some of that from his mom's house. So we got plenty of that for, good Lord have mercy, who knows how long. I just finished one of them, and then I just started a new one. And then I got 2 more boxes after that. So we don't need that. But that's the kind of stuff that we get when we go. And then meat and chicken and beef and stuff like that. But since we don't cook, but on the weekends, we don't really need to stock up on the meat. So we wouldn't really be going. And I explained to her, I'm like, we're that far away. We're not going to use it. I just bought it specifically to get and you can only get the Nutrisystem things online. So great. I don't have to leave the house. She goes, let me talk. And comes back. She goes, well, we need to verify you. So they want to know 2 other addresses I've lived at, my middle initial, the school that is close to my house. I'm like, seriously? I was like, well, I can't remember. We moved out when we fixed the house. We renovated, we ripped the house out. Put it that way. There's the R word. We ripped the house out. We rented an apartment, and then we moved and we rented a house before we come back home and lived in the big room on that one little room. Anyway, y'all heard that story. I said, I can remember the one street, and I can't remember the other one, which I remember now. I said, but I've been in this house since 1998. She goes, oh, well, let me just tell them that. So she's typing it. And then I give her the school. I'm like, I don't know if it's really one word or two words. I'm always confused on that, right? Well, she typed it in as one word. She come back and she goes, okay, well, the school was in, and she said another North Carolina town. I'm like, no, I'm in Kannapolis. She goes, oh, okay, well, they spelled it one word, and yours is two words. Okay, well, that fixes that. And she's typing, and she's with her little resolution team, and she comes and she goes, okay, you and Mr. David are verified. You are verified. I'm like, great. So she said, you could try to place an order, but I would wait 24 hours to make sure it's in the system. So I get up. That was Monday. So Tuesday night, it was like 7:30ish when I got off the phone with her, because they're Pacific time, so they can talk later. Tried to make another order. It was canceled. I'm like, well, ain't no sense to try to do it again. I'll just call them in the morning, which was yesterday morning. Well, they don't open until 8 o'clock our time, which is good because they open at 5 o'clock their time, so people go to work early. So we can still talk to them early over here on the East Coast, which was 8 o'clock. So I called, talked to the girl. Let's see, how did it go? Told her we were still getting cancellations, and she was so, the people at Costco are so nice. They're so nice. It's just, if it can happen to anybody, it's going to happen to me. So she's looking on there. She goes, well, let me. She goes, and all your information matches? I'm like, yes, I've already checked all that. Everything matches, our Costco information, his card information, our shipping information, everything matches across the board. Let me talk to my resolution team. So I was on hold with her a lot longer than I was the other one, but she kept coming back telling me, Miss, Kim, I'm still with you. I just want to let you know I'm just waiting on them. I'm like, I know I'm not the only person that called. So this resolution team is fixing who knows, how many people at one time that are calling in, and that's their job. And so they have to take you as they get you. So I was very kind about it. I mean, who wants to sit on hold? But I wanted it fixed. I'm like, yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Well, she comes back. She says, they need to verify you. I'm like, honey, I was verified Monday. The girl said, you and Mr. David are verified. She goes, they need to verify you again. They need to verify David because he is on the account as the main holder, which I'd have put my name if I realized that. But I'm like, well, I'm using his card. I'll just put his name. I don't guess it matters whose name the Costco card is, and you can pay with whatever debit or credit card you want to pay with. But in my mind, I was like, okay, it's his card, and I'll just put the Costco thing in his name. And she says, we need to verify David. I'm like, okay, well, he's in there. Let me go give him the phone. She goes, no. I promise you. He has to call in himself. I'm like, well, he's going to be calling from the same phone number. She goes, yeah. She goes, but he's got to call in himself. I'm like, seriously? So I'm laughing at this time, and she is just like, while we were on hold, we were talking about all kind of stuff, and she was laughing because I had her cracking up. She goes, I guess they're supposed to maintain what is it, a modicum of decorum? Is that how you say it? And she started laughing. She goes, and she was trying to maintain it. She goes, I could hear her laughing behind her speech. She goes, I'm sorry to laugh. She said, but that's just so funny. Because we were talking about who knows what. I was just going on and on about it. Oh, David's doctor. Being on a diet, and his doctor is so tall and skinny. I said he's like a pencil with a hand. He is. He's tall, skinny, lanky. And anything that's wrong with you, he thinks you can solve it by going on a diet. And he gives you this paper that looks like it was run off on a mimeograph machine from the 70s, which dates me 500,000 times. And it's basically eat grass. He gives that, because I've seen it before when I was at that doctor's office. I'm way been gone from there. And I've had actually, when my leg bust open the first time from holding so much fluid and it started draining, I mean, it poured. He gave me a medicine in case it got what's that flesh-eating virus? Not staph. It's, y'all know the one I'm talking about. He gave me some kind of drug in case it developed that, but he didn't tell me why it was doing it. So I didn't know it's because I was holding so much fluid it didn't have anywhere to go except for to bust out of my leg. I've still got skin and scars down there. It's done it more than once. Where it busts out and starts draining, it's terrible when it does that. But my skin has never gone back. It does not matter what I put on it. It is still just a scaly, bumpy mess. Anyway, so I tell her all that. We're laughing, blah, blah, blah. And she's telling me what I have to do to get this Costco thing. And I'm like, but we've been working on this since Monday. She told me that David, she said his name. She goes, yeah, I can't help it. I'm like, okay. So I go in there. I'm like, honey, you ain't gonna believe this. I said, they need to verify you, but you couldn't talk on the phone that I was on. You got to call back yourself. Okay. So he's like, you're kidding me, right? I'm like, no, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding you. So I give him the phone. I give him the phone number. And you know how when you've been dealing with something and you tell somebody, okay, if you have to pass the problem over to them, you tell them this is what you say because it sets up everything that had happened so these people know this is not a new problem. Well, of course, he's sitting there and he's not saying what I told him to say, and I'm over there like, I mean, he's ignoring me like the plague because that is what Mr. Maness does. He has his sights, and that's where that's where they are. So he's like, okay. He goes, let me get a pen. So he's getting a pen and going over. He's writing on I'm trying to get him to get a paper right there off the refrigerator. He's over there writing on my grocery list. I'm like, whatever. Gets off the phone. I'm like, what did you write a number down for? She told me I can't do that over the phone. You got to call this number. I'm like, she gave you the store number. She gave you the store number. The store can't do it. I said, what they're going to tell you? He said they don't open till 10. And here it was a little after 8 because I called them at, well, let's see. No, by the time I got off the phone, yeah, it was a little after 8 because I told him, I said, and it was getting close. I'd been on the phone so long, it was like after 8:30. I said, well, I don't want to go anywhere until I hear President Zelensky's speech to our Congress. And anyway, when I told him, I said, she was supposed to do this for you because that's who I've called twice now, and they're the people who do it because the store can't do it. I said, I guarantee you it's the store. So I go to Google, I type in the phone number, and immediately it brings up my store. I said, I told you. I said, the store's going to tell you. The first girl, she said, they like to see you. She said, but I can verify you over the phone. She said, we do it all the time. I'm like, okay, cool. The store's going to say, well, you have to come up here and let us take a picture of you and get your card and get you situated that way. So I said, don't even call them. After Zelensky's speech, we'll just head on up there. So that's what we did. We just got in the car, went on up to Mooresville, our round trip, got our little cards. I stood there and asked him right there. I said, now, soon as you do this and give us our cards, I can order online immediately, right? He goes, right. I'm like, okay. So I told David, I said, well, this is what we'll do. I'll order on my phone while we're in the store because if you order, if it's going to cancel it, like how many ever minutes later, 10 minutes, whatever, I would get it because I tried several more times. I don't know how many times I've tried. You get an email that says, oh, it's canceled. I said, so we'll do that. We'll walk around the store. Since we're here, we'll see what they have to offer and wait on an email, whether we're going to get them or we're not going to get them, because what they do is they email you the gift certificates, the gift card numbers. Of course, it won't sign in. It gives me the Costco website, lets me pull it up, lets me even go as far as to put the certificates in my cart and go to checkout, and it hangs up on the sign-in portion. I tried it several times. There was not even a bar at the top that it was even trying to load. Wasn't even thinking. It's like, nah, forget it. I ain't doing it today. So I'm like, well, we're not going to look around today. We got to go home because, see, yesterday I thought my cutoff was 6 o'clock yesterday. All this, we got to get it done. We got to get it done. And then I go and I look and I had read it wrong. I didn't read it wrong. I thought yesterday was the 17th instead of the 16th. And so I was like, oh, well, if we don't get it and get the certificates and I apply it to our order by 6 o'clock, then we don't get it. But then I get home, I do the the order. Canceled. So I call back, explain the whole situation. She goes, let me talk to my resolution team. I'm like, okay. And she comes back and she goes, well, we got to verify you again. I said, what did you say to me? I mean, I'm nice. I said, honey, I'm not fussing at you. I said, but I am exasperated. I said, I have been working on this since Monday. Told I was verified Monday. We just literally walked in the door from the store, have our picture cards in hand. And you're telling me we got to verify again? She goes, yeah, I'm sorry. So we're talking, I kid you not, I cannot make this up. Their system crashes while we are talking. She comes back and she said, the whole system is down. So you have to call back in an hour or two. I said, you mean to tell me I've got to go through all this with somebody else? And she says, I'm making really detailed notes. So when you call back, there'll be notes, which I'm not holding my breath, because if the system is down, did that mean their note-taking system? Was it going to take the notes she was typing? So come to find out, you couldn't order anything because Ro was going to help me out. Costco was down. Costco was down. So I kept calling and calling and calling on up till I don't know what time yesterday. And it would say, we're sorry, there was an unforeseen incident, blah, blah, blah. You'll have to call back, blah, blah, blah. Well, I hadn't called back this morning because they don't open till 8. So I have until 6 o'clock today to get my money to save my $20 for each one. So that has been that has been my Costco situation. I'll tell you what. I told David, I said, if they won't do it, just tell them you're going to cancel. He goes, well, no, we still need to save the money. I said, yeah, but we can cancel for principle's sake and just do it again next month before our order is due. Because that's how I am. Petty LaBelle. I can't help it. So, yeah. If they can't get this thing fixed today, David told me when I went in there, that last phone call, I said, and it crashed, but she told me before it crashed, we had to be verified again. He's laying on the couch watching TV. He goes, I'm not going up there again. I'm just telling you right now, I'm not going up there again. I'm like, well, I ain't either. He said, we already got our pictures took. I'm like, I know. So that's what happened with Costco. Bro, she got her. She called on the phone. They placed her order on the phone. They got her situated. She's done. No, not me. When I tell y'all, I didn't do nothing to jinx it. But you know I believe in jinxes and calling stuff up. I didn't call it up. But I also believe if it happens to anybody, it'll happen to me. And that is just how it has been my whole entire adult life. If it can happen, it's going to happen. And it happened. So I think that's all I got to tell you today. I ain't had much of nothing else happen except for dealing with that since Monday. And this is Thursday. Still ain't got a situation since Monday. My goodness. So I guess that's all I know today. what did we say about this? Let me roll my eyes. This weigh-in, 313.2 for a gain of 2 pounds and puts me at 63.9. And so all I know is I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because I'm doing it right and there ain't nothing to change. The only thing I told David, the only thing that we changed is we're eating less vegetables. But I don't know how that could make me gain weight, because if I was eating more vegetables, I was eating more food. So I was eating my regular food plus vegetables on top of it. And even though vegetable calories don't count against you in the Nutrisystem diet, non-starchy vegetables, I was still eating more food. So I was taking in more calories even though they didn't count than I did this past week when we wasn't eating the extra vegetables. So I don't think that's got anything to do with it either. I don't see any reason for it other than the fact that your weight goes up and down. And I was up. But I was down from earlier in the week when I was way up. So I don't know if it's got anything to do with medicine holding on to weight. But like I said, all those other things earlier in the video, I don't think it's any of that. So I don't really know what it is. But I just have to take it and move on. And we'll see what it does next week. So that'll be it. That'll be it for me today. I hope you have a really good day, and I will see you on my next video.